Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Kingdoms Reborn. It's something new I'm trying out. A friend of mine got it for me, and it's a city builder civilization type game. It's supposed to be very relaxing, very fun, so we'll give it a shot. The background is that the Great Freeze left civilization in ruin. Few were strong enough to withstand the cold and plague that claimed the earth. Decades have passed since the frost took our lands, and our courage and hope have returned with the melting of the ice. It falls to us, we surviving few, to rebuild a flourishing civilization. Cheers to the new beginning. Alright, so I'm not going to be doing this tutorial. I've played a little bit, and, well, I think I have enough knowledge to not immediately die, at least, which is pretty great. So the first thing that we're going to do is just take a look at the map in general. So it looks like the AI players have selected their regions, and we have sort of almost a Pangea type situation where, I mean, this is roughly a single continent, and then some smaller, I guess, places like up here, which seem like a nice little isolated spot to have it yourself. Speaking of, this island might be a very attractive place to start, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've not been brave enough to really wander out into the desert very often, and I do like to avoid crowds, and particularly, there's a whole lot of good land here, but Rouen is, if we scroll in here, Rouen is starting off right in the center, which means we'd have to either fight them, or, I mean, assuming that's possible, I'm not even really sure that it is, or we'd have to just take whatever land we can get before they get their hands on it, which is a little bit less relaxing than I'd really had in mind. Down here there's a lot of grapes, there's a lot of, I believe that's dye, yeah, dyes. Yeah, I don't know, I think we will start off over here on this island. There's tulips, which, I mean, starting with tulips is not the worst idea, because they can help you get an early luxury resource. One of the things that we'll see when we get into it. There's iron nearby, which is nice. There's cocoa, dye farming. I'm a little worried about the big desert in the middle, but I suppose that's something we can try and figure out later on as well. Starting over on the west-hand side may actually be a better idea, although then we'll have to work our way. I don't know, either way we'll have to work our way around this oasis eventually. So, you know, let's give it a try. Forest province, tulips, lots of available stone. Normal difficulty, it's not a rainforest, which is important because diseases mean you run through your medical supplies faster than you otherwise would. Okay, base income is 12. Alright, well let's try this. Let's start here. I've not really gotten enough experience to fiddle with the initial resources. All I know is that an additional bit of food might be helpful at the start, so if I increase that, that's a significant buy. So you know what? We're just gonna click on our tulip seeds and confirm. Okay, we can grow tulips. Farm, bridge, tulip seeds, all nice. And let's go ahead and make our town hall. This is a really small area, so I think we'll be buying another one pretty soon. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna slow down to speed 1. You know what? It would be nice to have a trading post. Investment is good. I think we're just gonna go with wheat seeds and improved farming, but no guidance. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to build some houses. Actually, I didn't do this my first game and it came back to bite me. First we're going to be gathering, so we can set everyone to gather. Then, well, click on wheat seeds. Okay, so we have good farming land here, so let's go ahead and make that into a farm. And then we can start on building our houses. So, I'm not sure, I mean, this is really a rather inconvenient starting tile because it's so small. But what we can do is we can go ahead and claim this province as well. I don't want an iron mine. And then what we can do is we'll come down here and we'll build some houses out this way, making sure our road structure is somewhat sensible. And this gives us, so each house is 4 people, which means we'll have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We have 18 population currently. I'd like to get 1 more just in case. And then we can go ahead and start. Ooh, we have very low fertility over here. We're going to have to move to our east to get better farming land. I am a little bit concerned about that. Okay, so the way that this game works broadly is that you can pick these different cards as time goes on, and you'll get different ways of, sorry, different buildings that you can make. We're going to use our free cycle because I didn't really like that one so much. Quarry, a quarry would be nice. Hunting lodge. Let's do the hunting lodge and the quarry. We could go ahead and go for an immigration office. It'd be a really interesting, fast population start. That's a nice way to starve as well. So perhaps not. Okay, let's just do these 2, and then we can set up the hunting lodge. We want good coverage with all of the trees that we have available. So let's go right here. And then we can set up the quarry. Will that do? Or do I need to be... No, setting these things up on the mountains is a bit challenging. But I suppose this will do. Oh, no it won't. We can't actually build it on the mountains because it's too... it interferes with the building placement. You see that? That's hilarious. Will this do? No? Okay, so the back of the mine must be on the mountain. That's fine. We need the front of it to actually be on allowable terrain. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, there we go. Okay. So we can do it like this. We're going to be running out of wood, so I'm going to wait on that. And we've unlocked research. Trading ports and trading posts are nice, but we're going to go first for basic medicine because it will allow us to grow medicinal weeds, which I think will be a very nice thing for us. Let's speed up to speed 2 here for just a minute while this early game is getting underway. So these are storage yards. There's only a limited number of things that you can store, and it depends entirely on the availability and location of storage yards. So one thing that you'll often want to do, especially starting out, is make sure that you build a couple extra storage yards, especially where you're producing things. So we want something right next to what will eventually be this wheat farm, to help us, to help us make sure that our workers are taking a very short trip instead of a very long one. I'm a little bit concerned that we don't have food already up and going, because they're prioritizing the houses. Bit of a mistake there on my part. We are going to run out of oranges eventually. But on the other hand, if they're out of houses for too long, they'll just leave. So that's not exactly what we want to have happen either. We do have a fair bit of money, so let's take a look around while that's going on and see. This is desert. I don't really know what can grow there, if anything, or how to really handle that. So I think first we'll want to expand east because it's cheap, it has a high fertility river. And if we go back in and look at farming, yeah, it's really not a good option. So we'll need to set up farms along the riverbank here. It'll also be a nice location for clay mines, which is something that is very important to make sure that you have access to. We're still not building our food building. No, hunting lodge is completed. Good. We'll do the smoking chamber. There's no sense doing the fruit bait. We don't have a fruit gatherer here. But, let's see. I don't know what poison arrows will do. No, let's just do normal. We don't need to rush it. And see, the thing is, the animals here will only come back, I as far as I'm aware, as long as there's good forest. So you can overhunt and they do go away, which means that you will starve. Not exactly ideal, shall we say. We do have to also update our gather. And let's go ahead and claim this province here as well, though I will leave the gather settings for a little bit. We need to get stable here. If we tell them too many things to do at once, it will very quickly become a bad situation. Now, you can specify the number of builders that you want to have, and I would recommend at least 2 for this, because we need to get things built. And if they don't have anything to do, they'll just switch back to being laborers, and that's fine. Well, I think that'll do it for our introduction. If we take a look out at the broader map, we can see that we are expanding rather quickly, although Rouen has also bought, looks like, oh, wow, 4 additional cheap tiles. Must be, maybe they have some sort of income bonus, but all of the AI are grabbing things. And we'll have to keep an eye on them, make sure we don't fall too far behind. Thank you all for hanging around, and we will see you again real soon.